Good afternoon. My name is Kofi Koranteng. I was born in Kolobu Teaching Hospital. I went to school right next door, Agri Memorial International on the Ringway. Then went to University Primary in Cape Coast. Then went to Garrison Primary in Kumasi. Then sat for common entrance, went to Adisadel College, and then went to London, studied engineering. Then for the most part of my life, have lived in New York. I've traveled the world extensively. And in my travels, I have found out one thing. It is so simple and easy to fix Ghana. What is our problem? Our problem is leadership. And for that, I come here today and I tell you how easy and simple we're going to fix Ghana. So please pay very close attention to what I am going to speak about today and why I decided to run. I decided to run because I know for a fact that Ghanaians deserve better. Out of all my travels, I've experienced excellence in the human experience. Excellence. But then I come to Ghana, my own people, my own land, and there's disappointment. And it's personal. And the reason why I say it's personal is because I've worked for the largest company in the world, and I've been to some pretty phenomenal places around the world. What is the problem of Ghana? The problem of Ghana is leadership. What is it again? It's leadership. What is leadership, first of all? Leadership is to have the intellectual ability to process information so that you have right thinking and functional thinking at your tips. You have the ability to make a decision when you need to make a decision. Action, not talk. And the last thing is, with the influence, you have the humility to know that you don't know it all. And to get to where you need to get to, you need to assemble a mastermind. What does a mastermind do? A mastermind does a couple of things. The mastermind is what creates the master class. The master class is what comes out with the master key. And with the master key, you develop systems. And I'll tell you in a minute why we need systems, and we absolutely ought to have systems in Ghana. With systems, you develop structures. And with the structures, out of that emerges functions of success, the standards. So from systems, you develop structures, and from the structures, you develop standards. So from the standards, you were able to know without a doubt what excellent leadership is. So now let me tell you what excellent leadership is. Excellence in leadership promotes talent. Excellence in leadership promotes excellence, high standards, competence. With excellence in leadership, it punishes corruption, substandardness. And then when you're done with all of that, you put together a functional government system that holds that balance in equilibrium. That is the government homeostasis, I call it, because it keeps your government at par. Is that what we see in Ghana today? Absolutely not. And that is why I chose to run for the leadership of Ghana, because of the fact that the people we have at the helm today are a binary level 1 thinking group of people. We need to elevate our game to a crypto qubits level 5 level strategic, highly competent thinkers in leadership. There's no way we're going to be able to be globally competitive with these types of leaders. They have proven to us for 32 years, it's been made glaringly obvious that they cannot help us. So now, what is the problem again? Leadership. What the leadership is the main root cause of everything. And what does that cost us? The subsectors of the problem are income and the management of income, because within these two subsectors, all our problems come bare. And I'm going to take a few minutes on that and tell the whole world how we're going to be able to fix it. So when we talk about income, why is it that we go to IMF? We don't have competencies. If you don't have competencies, you don't make anything that anybody else needs. So Ghana imported from over 214 countries in 2023. That's how serious our problem is. Anytime we go out to import, that is actually confirmation that we don't have a competency. We went from 208 countries we imported from in 2022 to 214 countries in 2023. That means levels of competencies are going down. People are leaving Ghana for greener pastures somewhere else because the leadership have not created an environment for them to get paid the amounts they want to get paid and to develop people to go to the next level. So in that, we crafted the winning formula for Ghana. For anybody who is serious and wants to lead Ghana, they have to be able to address these 5 things, and that's what Kofi Koranteng and the New Vision movement is going to do for Ghana. What are these 5 things? Number 1, we ought to change the Constitution. The Constitution of Ghana has very nicely made criminality legal. And that's why our leaders use the Constitution to rape Ghana. We need to change it. We need to eradicate corruption. Not just dance about corruption, not just hug corruption. We need to eradicate corruption from the root cause. We absolutely need to eradicate corruption. Number 3, we need to institute a national development plan for the next 50 years in 4-year timeline, so that in every 4 years, we would do an inventory to evaluate if the president acted responsibly or not and have a chance to X them out. Number 4, we need to reduce government by 73% to make it effective, efficient, and functional. The governments we have today are operating based on personality. We need to have governments operate based on systems. When you operate on personality, when the person changes, the results change. And we don't have continuity, and that's why we're in the mess that we're in. And number 5, we need to invest $10 billion. That's what Kofi Koranteng is going to do. Invest $10 billion into drone-controlled mechanized farming for the next 10 years to make Ghana the agricultural hub of the world. Make us food security. Our biggest component liability for life is food. And most of the foods are coming in imported, and they are poisons because they don't care about what we eat. We need to control what we eat, what we put in our bodies. And that's what we're going to do. So these are the 5 major blocks that we are going to tackle to bring sanity, stabilize Ghana, and make Ghana successful. Now, let me go back to the agriculture. I know there are a lot of questions out there, and a lot of people want to know, Kofi, if you're investing $10 billion in agriculture, how is that going to change anything? Let me tell you. When we take $10 billion and you put it into agriculture, then now what we do is our arable lands are going to go to work. The agro-based industries are meant to put value into everything that's coming out of agriculture, make it global exportable. So we export it abroad, we get foreign exchange reserves, and with the foreign exchange reserves, we do three things. The first thing is we're going to pay down our 760 billion CD debt because China is getting ready to take our country. That's the first thing. The second thing is we need to expand the horizontal integrations in industry so that we could do more for ourselves and not have to depend solely on importation. That's what's making us broke. And the third thing we're going to do is we're going to take the excess foreign exchange reserves and put it in our central bank. So if we need money, we don't go on the street and liquidate our city to get dollars. We go to our central bank to get the dollars for the commodities market if we have to buy anything. Now, what that does is it gives us more money. More foreign exchange then is going to go into the second level of the horizontal integration, which is going to be addressing the domestication liability and gap that we have, because 98% of our domestication is coming from China. You see? So what we're going to do now is the second level of our horizontal integration is we're going to go into household stuff. Everything domesticated we're going to go into. Air conditioners, refrigerators, stoves, rice cookers, building materials. Because you see, yesterday I was in a game shop and I stood in an aisle, and to the left of me, to the right of me, everything in the aisle was foreign. Everything in the aisle then is unemployment for us. Because if everything on the aisle, on the left side, on the right side of the aisle is foreign, if we make these things here at home, guess what? It absorbs unemployment. But we don't make anything because it's quick money. It's like cocaine for these leaders, for them to import stuff. We're going to cut import. Everything we need and we use, we are going to make here in Ghana. And plus, everything we grow, we're going to add value to it so that it makes up the highest value add of everything we grow before it leaves our shores. That's what's going to make us the money. So I'm going to talk about the National Development Plan and how that's going to change our lives. We went around since 2020 around the whole country, spoke to Ghanaian citizens. And the concerns they have, incidentally, becomes the concerns that develops a nation. And these are the 10 things that develops a nation. Number 1, housing. 2, healthcare. 3, employment, real employment. Number 4, education. 5, telecommunication. 6, transportation. 7, security. 8, recreation. 9, retail. 10, functional business, central business district. So these are the 10 things that we need to develop a nation. And ask me, in the last 32 years, none of these governments we've seen here have been able to put together one of these 10 things. Not one. Housing, healthcare, employment, education, transportation, telecommunication, security, recreation, retail, and a functional CBD. They haven't done one. How do you build a nation then? You can't, because you haven't focused on what the people need. What Kofi Koranteng is going to do is focus on what the people need. Give them meaningful jobs that gives them a lifestyle. That's what people are looking for, not just jobs, lifestyles. Because if you have a job and it can't take you on a vacation, it can't give you good food to eat, it can't give you a good place for you to lay your head, it's not a job. It's a liability. So that's what we are going to do. So we're excited to be able to lead Ghana because we know we're coming in with the influence and the understanding of leadership at the level 5. And we're going to be able to, we go down to the next one, which is eradicating corruption. We're going to punish corruption. We're going to kill corruption because corruption kills us. Anything that kills us, we have an excuse to kill too. And we're going to kill corruption, literally. And I mean it. And that's the neglect of the leadership to killing corruption. That's why corruption has gotten us to where we are today, where we cannot even handle Galamsey. It's ridiculous. Galamsey is killing us because of the greed. So I'm excited to be here. And I'm telling you, Ghana, if you are serious about letting somebody lead this country, take a look at the last 32 years. The people who have made all these promises to you have failed. And what I can tell you is their records are there to show that they have failed. Let's not give anybody else a chance because we deserve better. By voting for anybody else means you support corruption, you support Galamsey, you support your own annihilation to your life. We are all an endangered species. And to take this to another level, to preserve ourselves, you need to vote number 10. That's the only number that matters between now and December 7th. I appreciate your time. I respect your time. And I promise you, I'll be a servant to you. Thank you. Now, if there are any questions, I'd like to take questions. Please feel free and ask me any questions. For if there's an area that you didn't get clarity on, feel free and ask me a question.
From Facebook, Sally is asking, how are you going to deal with offshore threats which have scaled up significantly?
Okay. The biggest threat to our security is unemployment. When people are employed and living happy lives, they protect what they have. They are vigilant. They take a look at everything that's going on. So the number one thing we need to do for our citizens is to, in protecting them, is to giving them a lifestyle. So what I am going to do, if there are jobs and they are meaningful jobs that gives lifestyle, and then you address security issues by equipping our security agencies. Number 2, there are a lot of people in Ghana today who we don't even know are in Ghana because we don't have an integrated national ID and address system. When you create an integrated national ID and address system, then you port people into a national data repository system where everybody in Ghana has a number on their back, so we know everybody. So whatever transaction you do on this earth in Ghana, we know who you are. And when we do that, it minimizes tremendously how people could scale up or scale down on the system and cause corruption. So that's what we need to do. And equip our security agencies and more importantly, have them work synergistically together. Thank you.
Niterko is asking from Facebook, illegal fishing, narcotic trafficking, oil bunkering, and the like. What is your plan to minimize or stop these from occurring?
Absolutely. So thank you. So now, listen, it's simple. What is simple is we don't have intelligence readily available amongst the security agencies. Okay, people are involved in narcotics because they need to make ends meet. So the first thing, as I said, is to have the people live beautiful lives. You see, because it's a disincentive for young adults who are living a lifestyle. They have their jobs to go to, they have their cars, they live in beautiful apartments, to get involved in these things in terms of illegal activity. So the first thing you need to do, and that's why my model is science-based, data-driven, human-centered. The most important element is the human-centeredness. If you do things for your people and you make your people feel and know that you care about them, you hardly ever get bunches of people going into these types of, I call the fourth trade. You hardly ever do that. And if there's somebody they find doing that, guess what? We have a system in our security systems to not bring this thing down and punish people very severely for anything that goes out of line. Next question.
Kwesi says, not everyone can make it happen in the formal classroom setting, so some opt for skills training. Share your plan to deal with unemployment.
Excellent. Well, the first thing I said, Kwesi, is with agriculture, what we're going to do, agriculture is a major sector. But outside of agriculture, there are a lot of subsectors. Research and development, transportation, freight, seed handling, food preservation, restoration, real estate, banking. So if you don't want to get to the farms and plow through the drone control mechanized farming, you could find yourself in our financial services sector if you were a suit and tie type of guy. You could find yourself in a machine shop because you were working on the freight and the logistics. There's so many places you could find yourself if you don't want to find yourself in the field, all from agriculture, and that's why we're spending $10 billion. So, and plus we have what we call the SBA, Small Business Administration, and what that does is if you were to come out of college or education, the entire spectrum, if you were to get out of the spectrum, any point of the spectrum, we will take you on and find out what you like to do. And then we will train you. And then we will certify you. We will put you on a database so that if somebody's looking for your skill set, they don't look around and ask the next neighbor for somebody who could do carpentry or masonry. They go on a computer and search for you. And then once they get you, they can pay you the amount of money that is specified by the Labor Department as being an amount that is acceptable. See, so nobody takes you for granted. So the whole thing is wherever you end up on your education spectrum, we will take you and develop you. And we'll give you the tools of the trade. Because what the wisdom in giving people the tools of the trade is, once they get out there and start working and they make income, because they're on the grid, they get taxed. And the tax gets back on the grid, which makes us more money to now serve more people. So nobody's left out. My final words, and I appreciate this time to Ghanaians, is this is our moment of destiny. This is our moment of destiny. We have one last chance to get it right. We don't get it right 7th December 2024, and we allow for this unscrupulous criminal organizations to come back into our lives again. What I warned about in 2019 about Galamsey is before us now, today. We ignored it. This is a warning, the last warning, unfortunately. We're not going to have a chance to do this. I'm telling you all, Ghana, this is clear and present danger. We are in the crisis. We don't have time now to think. We have to act. The act for you as a citizen is to vote number 10 for Kofi Koranteng. Kofi Koranteng, listen, I'm systems-based. I understand our problem. I'm the only one who understands the problem. I'm the only one who is going to put and enforce the changes that we need to change this country. I've traveled all over the world, and I've seen life led by people at the highest level and at the lowest level. Our only place we deserve as Ghanaians is at the top, not even at the middle. We deserve to be at the top. It's not a promise. It's what we live by. Western region alone has enough money there to take care of all of Ghana for us not to even work. It's a fact. Do the math. And yet we labor, we slave. We need to stop this madness. So I appreciate your time. And I'm telling all our brothers and sisters who live abroad, help us in this last couple of weeks that's left before the election day, help us. Get involved in this thing. This is your life. You are an endangered species. My only objective and why I run is to make Ghana a place where we could bring our children and grandchildren to live the life so that we could be proud Ghanaians and prove to the world that Kwame Nkrumah started this thing is for us to take the baton and continue on this plight. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a great moment being here. We're looking forward to serving you. Stay well.